Hello everyone, and welcome to News and Views for March the 7th, 2024. Here in Neepawa and pretty much all of southern Manitoba, we have been hit by back-to-back storms. So be warm, be safe out there, be safe on the roads. We're all digging ourselves out. We're all in this together. So a number of things that we sort of expected to be covering this week have been canceled. We do still have two items on the show for you today, though, of course. First of all, not too long ago, ACC was here. That's Assiniboine Community College was here, talking about their ECE2 program, which they are hoping to be able to offer in Neepawa if there is enough interest. So take a look at what the program offers. We have a clip of it here. We have a fuller program that's going to be elsewhere in the schedule. If that is something you or someone you know is interested in, definitely get in touch with ACC so they can go forward with this program. As well, we have our hockey highlights. We're winding down the regular season of hockey here, but there's still a few good games to go. This one took place on March 1st. This was Titans versus Swan Valley. So we will have those highlights on the show. And again, a full hockey game elsewhere in our schedule. If you have anything going on, anything happening that you would like us to know about, whether you're covering it, whether we're covering it, please do get in touch with us. We always want to know. The email address is nactv@wcgwave.ca or call us 204-476-2639. Thanks and enjoy the show.
Hi everybody, my name is Ryan Cardwell and I'm one of the chairpersons of Early Learning and Education at the college and ACC. I want to thank Marilyn for hosting us today and showing us a bit around the town and talking a bit about this project with us. We're really quite excited about the possibility of bringing the program here to Neepawa. So I've been working with young children and families for about 22 years. First as an early childhood education as a kindergarten teacher, and then as a principal and program director. Strange thing about my career is most of it was spent in China. So I was living in Beijing for the last 22 years and just recently came back to Canada. So I've been living here in Manitoba for the last 6 months at the college. So very excited to be here and be a part of the expansion of access to early childhood and care here in the province. So I'm joined by my colleague Brian Cox, and he can introduce himself.
Yeah, so I have been with ACC for 15 years, and before that was teaching in the public school division, and so I've actually taught every grade from 3 right up into college, and then I just took on a new position as a chair in the early learning department with him, and we've just been working on expanding the ECE world. I'm learning lots about, specifically about ECE, and trying to figure out how to get it into communities like this.
Yeah. So we were granted a little north of $11 million by the government of Manitoba that will be paid out over the next 3 years to improve access to education. And so it's coming in a number of different forms. We have a number of new programs and delivery modalities that we're rolling out this year. Some of them are online, some of them are really quick. CCA, maybe some of you took the CCA course that we had here in Neepawa in the fall. And there's a qualifications recognition program for folks who may have been trained overseas but don't have qualifications in Canada. There's a whole bunch of different ways that we're trying to get education to people. The reason we're here in Neepawa today is one of those modalities is called a rural rotating model. And so that would mean that the program would come here and it would go for 18 months. And in those 18 months, you would study everything that you need to know to be an ECE2 at the same time as you were working in an early learning center. So it's called an accelerated mentorship. Typically, our ECE2 program takes 2 years. This shortens it to 18 months. And that's because you'll be working closely with a mentor and you'll be working daily in an actual early learning center. So you're sort of learning while you're earning, which is really great model. The second thing I will tell you before I turn it over to Brian for the formal presentation is that the fees that you pay to ACC in tuition, you can then get back from the province up to $5,000 per year. And so if you do this program, we actually charge you less than that, so you'll end up getting all of the money that you paid in tuition back from the province upon completion of the program. At the same time as you're already working. So you're working full time, you're getting paid, you're going to school. So it's a really great, if it works the way it's designed, it works great for everybody involved. The community gets more people involved in early childhood education and care, and you get a great education, and you get paid while you do it. So Brian's going to tell you, walk through all the nuts and bolts of the program, and then we can hang out, probably have other questions, and we'll be here to answer them. So take it away, Brian.
Yeah, I think even during the presentation, I know sometimes people say, hold your questions to the end. We can do that, or we can, if I'm talking about something and you see something up here and you have questions, just fire away, and we'll make sure that we're on the right slide when you're asking your questions. So, welcome. These are some of the things we're going to look at here today. Just a little bit of an overview and admission requirements and how we can support students, and then how you can apply. So, as an ECE, there's different levels, and so how many in here did take the CCA with Donna? Yeah, good, 3 or 4. Okay, and so in the ECE world, the very first step is a CCA, Child Care Assistant, and it's a 40-hour course. And so, if you were to take the program here in Neepawa, you would earn your CCA in the first class. So that immediately allows you to have a wage increase. You would apply to the government to get your CCA certificate, and that immediately gets you a wage increase. And Donna, you stop me at any point.
No.
Donna knows way more than that. You guys give me one of these.
17 an hour.
Right, so you would probably start at,
16
around 16, okay, there you go. Start around 16, and you quickly jump up to 17. So in 18 months, you'd be at ECE 2, which then bumps you up somewhere between
$20.73.
20, 73? Okay, so you can, if you go to different centers, you could earn a little bit of a different wage depending on where in Manitoba you end up. No?
They had a wage right now, so they're pretty much.
So somewhere online it says something like 21 to 23, but anyway, you're saying it's,
Yeah.
okay. And then we also have an ECE 3 program, that's at ACC, well, it's on, you can earn that by taking online courses. And that's, you can get that done in 1 year if you try really hard. Okay. Yeah, and then there's obviously more information here. We can turn this into a PDF and give it to Marilyn, and you can, if that works. Or you can, my email address is at the end. If you want this PowerPoint, you can email me.
Contact the college.
Yes, I'll get it to you, that's better. So this specific program is 18 months. You end up with your ECE 2 diploma, and as Ryan said, it involves a mentorship where you're trying to work with somebody at the center closely. You work 3 days a week, and you're in class 2 days a week with that assigned mentor to get your ECE2. So while you're in this program, even while you're in class, you're still earning a wage. It's a full-time wage. You're working 3 days a week, but even when you go to class, your center can apply for a grant so that you can get money, basically be paid even while you're in class. So it's a really good time to become an ECE2. What's great about this, especially here in a place like Neepawa, you've got small class sizes where you get to know your instructor quite well, and then you have that hopefully unique relationship with your mentor. You're working at a center, so the center is interested in developing you, and so in a perfect world, you have a really close relationship with that mentor. And then, like I said, you could earn money while you're learning. This is an example of a calendar, or like a schedule of some of the classes that you could take. And so as you can see, we have 2 different colors here because we have 2 different cohorts. And so this is most, somewhat interesting to your center director. So what it would mean if one center had, let's say, 4 employees that they wanted to send, well, they could send 2 employees out on Tuesday and Wednesday while the other 2 are still working on the floor, and then you flip. So then the other 2 go to class and the other 2 come to the floor. Does that make sense? So we've got this kind of a flip-flop model. And we've been playing around with this model. So if this was happening here in Neepawa, and I'm not sure if all of you are from Neepawa or if you're from surrounding communities, but let's say you live half an hour away from Neepawa, we can set this model up working with instructors so that one day could be a face-to-face instructor and the other day could be online, and then face-to-face and then online. So that means that if you live half an hour from Neepawa, you would only have to drive to Neepawa 1 day a week and then stay at home for the other class. So we have different ways to run the program depending on what the community needs, but this is kind of why we need to hear who's interested and how we can make it fit and work with your community. So according to this model, you would take 1 class in the morning and then a different class in the afternoon, so you don't take the same class all day. That's a little boring. But 2 classes are finished in 7 weeks. 7 weeks, 2 classes. It's accelerated, right? It's pretty fast paced. So it means that while you're in class, you're listening and your instructor's saying, okay, when you get on the floor tomorrow, try and apply what we just talked about in class. That's why you need a mentor. So you go, okay, am I doing it? And so it's a very accelerated, way to learn, but a close connection with the workplace. That's kind of how we designed the model. You kind of have to be ready to dedicate yourself for 18 months because it's a pretty focused program that's delivered. Questions? Yeah?
Where is it going to be?
Like physically located?
Yeah.
We have 3 different locations that we're considering, we haven't chosen one yet.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course it's based on numbers, right? If we had 4 people interested, we wouldn't be able to run it. But if we can get, if we have 12 people in this room, it's like, yeah, and everybody has a job, then we can say, all right, this is the place to come. We'd love to have 12 or more people in the program. Am I right?
You're right.
12 or more, that'd be great. These are just a list of some of your courses, year 1 courses and then year 2 courses. And so you have a couple of APS applied courses in there. But while you're working at the center, you're basically earning credit towards these APS courses. Children, Indigenous perspectives, we're the only school at the college right now that has a course specific to this. You have your developmental courses. All 3 stages, early and then preschool and then school age development, and so it kind of builds on itself. So how about costs? So these are estimated, because textbooks change in price and some courses need them and don't have them, but basically year 1 hovers right around $5,000. Hopefully it's a little bit under, and same with year 2. And then every year you can apply for a $5,000 rebate to get that reimbursed. So it's, it's as close to a free education as you're going to get. What do you need to join the program? You need grade 12. So we got to finish grade 12. Yes. And then you need to be working somewhere. You need to be working at a center. Either give us the criminal record check, or if you're working somewhere, that center you'll already have done that through your center, and instead your center can just give us proof of employment, and either one of those is necessary. If English isn't your first language, then we need to just make sure that your English is at a level where you're going to be successful. And so there's a few different tests or English proficiency tests that you can take. If you're interested, you can go to that website right there. We require like a level 6. Now, we have the ability to work with you, and if you weren't quite at a 6, we could interview you, for example, and maybe talk to you, get a sample of your writing, and we have the ability to get you in.
If you're not sure, don't assume the answer we know. Ask us, and we'll figure it out together.
We want to find a way.
Yeah,
to
we want to find a way.
Yeah, so don't let that, I'm not going to apply because I'm worried about that.
I have a magic pen.
Yeah.
If I finish my grade 12 program in the Philippines, will I have to be here for the requirement?
So you took high school in the Philippines?
Yeah.
Grade 12 there.
Yeah. That would only, we would want to see, but just listening to you talk, I think you'll be fine. You asked a question in a group meeting, I think you'll be fine. Yeah, just English proficiency, but yeah, doesn't need to be grade 12 from Canada.
Thank you.
So this is, Donna was already talking about salaries. Oh, you were right. Always trust Donna. Anyway, just talk to Donna. No, there's more information there, but yeah, every stage you kind of jump up a little bit. So even though the course, if we were running it here, you still have access to resources at Assembly Community College. So if you have trouble with assignments, you can book online appointments. send your assignments to our learning curve, and they can help you with assignments and send it back to you. I am taking classes right now through my university is in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. I have taught English for the past 15 years. I'm really good at writing English. I send my assignments. I send it to Cape Breton, and they look at it at their learning curve and send it back to me. So you use these resources, they're there for you, right? And so there's a ton of them at ACC. Stuff for learning, there's financial supports there, there's financial supports right in your community. We met with them today. So if you're thinking, oh no, I don't know how to financially afford this, apply, contact us. We will find a way to make it happen, yeah? We have health supports, I don't know what's up here. We have counseling supports, whatever you need help with, there's an answer for you. Yeah, same here. If you maybe back home, if you had an accommodation for learning back home and you come to Canada and you're like, I don't know if it's still, we have people that will assess and figure out how to make sure you're successful academically in all areas. You'll have a student success advisor that is dedicated to you. Student success advisor helps you with any problems you have outside of your relationship with your instructor. If you're having stress problems or finance problems, hello, come on in. Student success advisor is dedicated to our school, so yeah.
I'm just looking down on my computer.
Hello, hi. Yeah, you're back.
Sorry.
No problem. You're on camera. Okay. That's it. This is step 1, step 2, and step 3 is how to apply. And so I'll show you my email at the end, but really you just start with sending in there'll be an online application. And the trick with applying is there's different stages. So stage number 1, is like a $95 application fee, and that gets your name into our system. You pay the $95, you create a username, and you are in our system. Then we can see you and find you and talk to you, and then you keep going with your application. Maybe you're waiting on a criminal record check, or you're waiting on a letter from the place where you're working. Don't wait to have everything like already in place. Start your application early. If you get into a hiccup, then you reach out to us and we can make sure that you get in. But that's really step 1, is to start applying. Yeah, there's the $95 fee. And as you go, you can start to submit or if I go to high school, you submit your transcripts all along the way. Step 3, then we reach out to you after you pay the $95. We reach out to you and say, okay, you've got this document. Once you have all your documents, then we say your spot is held. You just have to pay a $400 registration fee, and that means you are in and nobody can take your spot. So $95 to apply, $400 gets you like you have a spot in the course. If for some reason we would shut down this, the whole program, we could reimburse the $400 for sure. I have to get special permission about the $95, but
Ben?
done? Magic pen. There you go. Okay, so some people are like, they're worried to like start applying because, I'm going to do this. Yeah. We don't want to create any barriers if we can. So that's kind of it. Whoops, this one right here. Whoops, this one right here. Whoops. There, that's the one you want. Take pictures or write it down. That's me.
If you'll indulge me, I'll just talk to you for 5 minutes about the profession of early childhood education, because I think there's often confusion about what ECEs do. When I think about my career actually began in high school, so my original degree was in phys ed. So I started my career as an English and phys ed teacher in high school. And then I moved into early childhood education later. And I stayed in early childhood education. So I taught high school for about 5 years, and then I was in ECE for almost 20 years now. And the reason I've stayed in early childhood education is because the impact that you make with young children is deeply profound. The changes that you can make in a young child's life are so much different than you can with a grade 11. A grade 11 student, a 16-year-old, they're pretty much done. Like you're changing the paint shade on the car, and you're maybe choosing the interior, but the engine is done. Like the main part of the work is done. When children are very young, you're installing the operating system. You're putting in the software. You're setting up that child for success in life. I think about it like when the giant icebergs calve off in the Arctic and they come down toward the oil derricks in Newfoundland. There's offshore oil drilling. When those icebergs are 1,000 miles away, ships take hoses of water and they move them just a few meters. But that little change makes a huge difference, and they miss those oil derricks by miles and miles and miles and miles by making that tiny change early on. And that's what ECE is all about. We spend time with young children, we guide their behavior, we spark their curiosity, we really try to figure out what they're about and how to really maximize for what they're good at and to remediate what their challenges might be. So working with young children is really exciting. The difference you'll see if you work with a 3-year-old for a year, a child comes to you when they're 3, and by the time they're 4, it's such a huge difference. You will see such an impact from the work that you do with young children, and it's really, really exciting. So coming into this field, you're going to have to go on websites, and you're going to have to take courses, and you're going to do all this, really annoying things, but the payoff later is going to be great. It's a fantastic career. You'll really impact your own life, but the life of your community, and really profoundly affect the lives of the children that you work with. How many of us are parents? Right? So those of us who are parents, we know all of this, right? We see the way that our children develop from the time they're born. But when you work with a group of children, it's a really incredible experience. It's great work, it's impactful work, it's important work, and that's why I'm so excited to see that you're all here, interested in maybe choosing this pathway. It's not necessarily an easy path, and you'll never get rich doing it, but it is very rewarding. For those of us who've spent our lives, working with children, you get a lot out of it, and the children get a lot out of it. So I'm hoping that many of you will find a way past the barriers, figure out how you can apply. Now, if this particular program doesn't work for you, we have so many ways right now to get to this kind of education. We have another online program. It's the same basic program, but it's 100% online. So maybe this isn't going to work for you right now. Maybe you're not a PR yet. Maybe you're waiting on something. Maybe you need to wait 8 months, 9 months. There'll be another opportunity. But I hope that tonight has inspired you to maybe think about this as a career path, because it is really a fantastic career. We would love to offer it here in Neepawa. If you are really interested in applying for the program, I would encourage you to email Brian, because what we want to do is get an interest list, a name list, so that we can figure out how many people might want to do it. Brian said we'll need 12. That's about right. So we would need around 12 people to participate in the program just to make it viable for us to be able to do it. So that's my pitch for the profession. I think it's a really important work. It's really impactful work, and I'm really happy that you're all here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Titans hockey here on the NAC TV broadcast system. Haggerty wins it back. Neepawa cross ice. Benson brings it to the blue line, dumps it in deep. Back there to collect it. Hunt behind his own net. Centering pass all the way back to the blue line. Good job by Cordero to keep it in the zone. Played behind the net. Out front shot. They score! Haggerty on a great play out front. I'm trying to figure it out. Is that Jace Larkin? No, it's McLeod. Carter McLeod on a great setup. Stampeders. They'll pick it up, chip it deep into the Neepawa zone. Taylor can't pick it up. Haggerty back to do so. Haggerty with some speed, left side pass. Little give and go, slot area shot. Penalty coming up on a good up ice rush by the Titans, but a good save by Demetrio. Now played back down low where Bettinger behind his net drops it back. Nice little touch pass. And the Stampeders with some time and space. Well, unable to advance, it was Perry. And now they'll try again, but now knocked down by Haggerty. Haggerty in the zone. Haggerty trying to make a move. Out front. And a couple of nifty moves, but Dimitriou there to save the day. Now dugout, Stampeders. One last rush on the man advantage. Here they come, right side pass through neutral ice into the Neepawa zone. Dipsy Doodle, Ness stripped of the puck. Hartley, good job to get it up ice. McLeod out of the box. McLeod gives it off. Hartley, high slot area shot. What a save by Dimitriou on a great setup. As Neepawa coming off the penalty. Hartley strips the puck. Neepawa now looking to come out of their own zone. Straight up ice, right side pass, shot, and a good blocker save by Dimitriou. Played down low, Unraw can't control. McLeod gives it off. Hartley puts on the brakes. Hartley, side of the face-off circle, nifty move, gives it off. Shot, oh, that trickles wide. McLeod didn't get a lot on that. Puck in the corner, played back to the right point. Shot, tipped wide of the net. Neepawa again trying to get it out front. McLeod back to the point, cross ice. Baird, shot, scores! John Baird from the point. Well, good offensive zone pressure by the Titans. And John Baird with that really good wrist shot from the right point. Taylor gets it into the offensive zone. Shot, it gets deflected. Loose puck. That's chipped up and outside the zone quickly. Weisgarber with speed in the offensive zone. Drops it back. High slot, Skrupa. Toe save by Dimitriou. Around the side boards. Stampeders control. Menard can't get it up ice. Shell dishes it off. Weisgarber brings it back into the offensive zone. Cross ice shot. They score! Ty Shell on the one-timer. Quickly jumping down low, Unraw. But that's stripped. Hartley up through the middle. Haggerty in the offensive zone. Haggerty, shot, rebound, loose puck, another shot towards the net. Stampeders get it back to the point, kept in by Neepawa. Dished off, Hartley out front. Oh, and McLeod was all alone, tried the tip, but again, Dimitriou with a really good save. Loose puck now played towards the front of the net. Good job by the Stampeders to control and quickly. Up ice, shot, well off net. Big rebound. Cross ice pass by the Stampeders. Oh, what a golden opportunity for Gulitson as the cross ice pass, the tip, but he just missed the net. Neepawa now able to get control out to neutral ice. Puck trickles to the end boards. Turning back, Taylor can't control. Still fighting. Stampeders shot, sharp angle. LeBron the save, loose puck, still there. Another shot. Holy moly. Stampeders with a little pressure of their own. Now Neepawa takes it off. Face off right side of Dimitriou. Off the draw. Puck into the corner. Alexander up with it. Alexander turns back. Shot. They score on the spinorama. I think it was Hartley, but a good job there on the forecheck. Alexander. It is Logan Paquette on the little spinorama shot. And the Titans have padded their lead now to 4 goals. Centering pass, high slot area. Benson to Stocks. Stocks. Shot through traffic. That doesn't quite make it through. Played up ice. Here comes Clayton. Clayton coming out of the penalty box to the front of the net. And LeBron shuts the door on a really good opportunity for Kai Clayton. Thompson in to take this draw against Makesy. Makesy tried to get it back to the point. Ness helps out. Stampeders controlling. Makesy shot off the side. LeBron saved. Oh, Makesy on the wraparound. I think that went off the back of LeBron. And the Stampeders on the man advantage have cracked the goose egg. 3 Stampeders there trying to work it. Puck comes free. Gulitson twisting, turning, trying to get towards the front of that shot. Saved by LeBro. Loose puck, though. Continues. Makesy along the end boards. Walks out front. LeBro hanging on to that goalpost with 1:14 now in the third. There's the horn. And the Neepawa Titans have gotten their at least 4 in a row, right?
Yeah, I
South
think it's 4 now.